our main aim at the beginning was to establish what are our goals, because obviously we were going to be losing the students in the face-to-face, and so we were moving to home-based learning. In terms of timing, it was similar to one of the points that was raised in the last episode. We'd actually just switched to a different device for all the teachers, and as part of the training for the device at the beginning of the year, we'd actually had some trainers in from Microsoft and had done a full session on Teams. Completely coincidental, but that happened at the beginning of the year. And so then when we were going into it, we had already in place some knowledge. And then we relied quite heavily on kind of the online support and the teaching that the Microsoft Education Center online courses had. And so that differentiation aspect of teachers in terms of trying to bring everybody up to a baseline was an important aspect of it. And then what we did within our policy or our strategy was to establish minimum expectations, just to ensure that every student would have, for example, if you have a set of lessons, at least one of those lessons should be of a certain structure. We put out kind of like a template in terms of what that one lesson should look like, in terms of the amount of, one-to-one time that you had in there, what the kind of like lecture aspect of the lesson was. So we kind of put out those minimum expectations. And then as we went through the process, as I said at the beginning, we ensured that everybody had sufficient PD to get started, but then touch base probably more than we normally would have. I think I had 2 Q&As a week and basically cleared the agenda, just a few items, but basically give people the opportunity to ask the questions that they needed to kind of deal with the issues that they were having. And obviously having people available, our EdTech team were online, myself and the administration were online all the time to kind of pop in and help where it was needed. And so that was really important. But I think the other thing that we did as we moved forward, we kept it really organic. So when people got to a certain level of, I guess, comfort with what they were doing, we kind of cranked up the stakes a little bit and said, okay, we're now 3 weeks in. We should be introducing some kind of online assessment tool. And we looked at what was available and things like that. So it was very much reactionary and kind of like changing, and it was very fluid. I think certainly from my conversations with other administrators, it was a very exciting time for schools in terms of, we've all kind of had times where we're trying to introduce new initiatives in the EdTech field, and sometimes it's kind of it's seen as a tool and there's no real end point or there's no real goal as such, whereas this is a real tangible goal, to be able to offer at least some kind of continuation of education in that kind of very difficult situation was the motivation, that where everybody felt that they had to up their game, and you were really kind of guiding people through that process. It was probably one of the most steepest learning curves for so many people, but one that really paid off. And the feedback that we had as we went through it from parents and students was very positive.